Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to Warlords Battlecry 2 for one more bonus video. For this one, we're gonna jump into the skirmish. We'll stick with Kaz. We're gonna go into the same map that I've done a few times now, the Blasted Delta. Except, well, and we're also going to be the black faction, just because I love that color. Except this time, we're not going to be Minotaurs, we're going to be Dark Dwarves. And because I need at least one opponent, or it's not going to let me start the map, we will once again have a High Elf, lowest level of AI. I'll even further nerf this enemy as before by giving them low resources, and I'll give myself high resources, and of course we're gonna make life even easier for ourselves by disabling the hidden map so that everything's scouted already, and we'll turn off Fog of War, making things a bit simpler for ourselves. Yeah, let's jump right in. Ooh, let me just quickly set my hotkeys. There we go. And we're gonna, well, before we pause, I guess we can take a look at the units from the retinue screen, but I'd rather show you the units as they become available. Oh, just give me one moment. Oops, sorry about that. One of my alarms went off. I'm not sure why it's going off at this time. I must have set it at the wrong time when I was trying to set an alarm to wake up, I guess. Anyway, that is neither here nor there. What does matter is that we are now in the map, and we are going to start off by building our keep. So the reason I'm doing this bonus video is because during the campaign I mentioned a few times that I was considering the Dark Dwarves as a potential alternative to our strategy of just going with the Minotaurs and using Minotaur Shamans. In the end, in the campaign, the Minotaur Shamans were fine, other than a few instances of, you know, fire immune heroes, which we had to find other ways to deal with. But for the most part, we were able to go through with Shamans just fine. But if we had run into a brick wall where the Shamans just weren't cutting it, the thing that I would have resorted to in that instance would have been the Dark Dwarves. And in this video I'm gonna go through what the faction is like, what their units are like, specifically the units that I would have focused on as my main unit. So in the I guess it does make sense to get a second furnace as well. Does it though? No. We'll stick with just the one furnace because we need our hero to first build the foundry. So one thing, or rather the guild, I keep confusing the dwarf and dark dwarf buildings and units. One thing to note about the Dark Dwarf is that most factions, when you build their keep, that is the main structure which you upgrade all the way to level 5, is that for most factions you can start building your builder units from the keep. So for humans you can build peasants, for orcs they can build peons, minotaurs can build thralls from their ziggurats. But with the dwarves and dark dwarves you can't do that. You have to build the keep, and then you have to build a second building. In this case, it is the guild. And you can't build the guild because if you see its requirements, you can see that it requires a level 1 furnace. So for this reason, this faction, like the dwarves, has a bit of a slow start. we'll build about 12 of these guys. Because I'm gonna put a few of them in some mines, but not just yet. And we also need to get a head start on our other stuff. You know what?
Pillage, burn, mine, and dig.
I will have those guys on continuous production just because, you know, we can speed up our resource production a wee bit. And you know what, I'll get this upgrade before I do anything else. And let's start. God, we're gonna need a second guild is what it is, because this one's gonna have things producing continuously, and then this one is gonna get some important upgrades for us. So the guild will allow you to get upgrades for the siege weapons, which are gonna be crucial for any successful Dark Dwarven strategy. Especially this first upgrade. +4 range. Second one is also vital, +2 speed, because these are really slow units, and any speed bonus you can get is gonna be very, very needed. And while we're doing that, let's start putting units into our mines for the resources that we have the least of, in this case, gold. Oh, and let's also take a look at the enemy hero, because last time we did a... Where is this guy? Here he is. Last time we did a skirmish, we encountered a hilarious glitch where the enemy hero, their stats bugged out, and they had like 8,000 health and did 800 damage in one hit and had like some absurd amount of speed. Funny, but also dangerous, because we could have easily gotten our hero killed. So thankfully this hero is not glitched out, so we will be fine. Another thing to note with smiths is that when you put them in mines, they count as 2. So mines fill up quickly. As you can see, we put these 2 guys in and it went from 4 to 8. So that was some good stuff. I sent my hero down here. I'm trying to grab another gold mine, I guess. It'll be nice. We'll get some more resources. And now let's start building some other buildings. The trader is going to be important because it will help boost our income. And I forgot about this upgrade. It allows you to produce your siege weapons more quickly. So part of the reason why I'm not doing this in like a competitive match against a difficult AI is because I've kind of forgotten what the Dark Dwarf tech tree is like. So I don't want to throw myself into the deep end when I myself have forgotten what the build order should be. Already I've messed up the build order. I should have gotten this thing first. I should have gotten the income upgrade first before I started getting like these upgrades for units that I'm not even building yet. But you know what? It's okay. It's fine. Like, I'm a bit of a completionist. I like getting all the upgrades, even when they're useless. Like, this is why I can never win an Age of Empires game, because I'll always be tempted to start getting upgrades that aren't part of my build, that aren't part of my strategy. That's just how I play. Oh, what's going on here? Ooh, that could have gotten nasty. Looks like our hero and his retinue walked right past our hero. Oh, one thing we've got to do is we got to take care of the Celestial Temple, because they are starting to build Archons, which is kind of troubling. It's the low level AI, so I don't think they will be too ruthless or anything, but still, we don't want them getting too many of these guys. I could convert it and start building some Archons of my own. I think it's gonna be simpler to just get rid of this thing, and they've already got one Archon on the map, and this temple sadly is close to them, so they will be converting it again once it gets built back up.
Burn the forests
Alright,
to the mine.
throw you guys in there. And now let's go get these level 3 mines just to give ourselves some extra resources. And let's get a further upgrade for our keep, and let's start building our first siege workshop. No towers on this map, it seems like, so all of these bases are a little exposed. Ours and also theirs. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, this isn't about... Like, I don't foresee this enemy being a problem, except if I take my eye off the ball and let my hero walk right into their hero. Although even then, their hero was I think a druid or something. Not the most dangerous hero type, but still, we do... Because this is still our Iron Man hero. Don't want to get our hero killed. And now we finally get a look at some of the units we can build. Although a lot of them are locked because we need to upgrade our keep before we can get them. Although it looks like we just got that upgrade, and here we go. We got the Firebomb. The Suicide Bomb unit. Very, very dangerous when you come up against them, especially when you're playing Iron Man. If you kill them quickly enough, I will build one of these. We've seen all of these extensively, like the battering ram, the catapult. Although, you know what? I'll build one each of these as well. Just to show you how they function once we get, you know, the range upgrades and speed upgrades and so on. And yeah, let's go ahead and get that upgrade as well. So, start getting some crystal now. And metal as well. Why not? And I think we should be able to build some more buildings. Yes, we can build the rest of our things. Supply depot, I think it doesn't really give you any research per se, or of research of any kind. It just adds to your army limit. Yeah, it doesn't have any production. And here we have our firebombs. So I was talking about these guys. We came across them while we were fighting Dark Dwarven factions in the campaign. They can be very dangerous because they will explode and they will do splash damage, AoE damage. And if you kill them while they're far enough, they won't damage you, but it can be very hard to time that properly. And of course, with melee units get taken down pretty quickly because melee units will by default attack anything hostile that comes near them, and that means that they can very easily be destroyed by a group of firebombs because they will just mindly cause their own, they will hasten their own demise by attacking these guys and making them explode even faster than they would have. But yeah, these firebombs caused us a fair amount of grief during the campaign, especially in the pitched battles where you can't build more units and you gotta be very careful not to lose units. And now we've got some of these classical siege weapons as well. The ballista, it's very nice. We can attack a friendly building just to show you its range. It won't. So you can attack your own buildings with the ranged weapons and it won't damage them. But it can give you a sense of how long the range is. Pretty long. And I believe the catapult has the exact same range, which is good. I'm gonna get this spare parts upgrade as well, and why not? Why not even get the catapult is a bit blocked by the thing at the top of the screen. I'll move it down a little bit so you can see how long the range is. And I think at this point we don't need any more of you guys. And of course the battering ram, another classic siege weapon. Of course, because it's a, you know, short range melee siege weapon, it doesn't get any range bonuses. So you can see its range is still 0, represented there by this dash. Okay. I think there's one more building that we need to build. That is, actually no, a couple buildings. We need to build the Eyrie and the Ancestral Hall. I believe the Ancestral Hall... Ooh, did we... We never built the Hall of Golems. This is another very important building for the Dark Dwarfs. I was like, I feel like we're missing something. The Ancestral Hall, I'm pretty sure, is where we will build our Titan. Excuse me, where... Oh, he's blocked by my hero and then just didn't move. Yeah, the pathfinding in this game does have the occasional glitch, and we still need somebody to build the Ancestral Hall. Getting a bit cramped here, but that's okay. Now, we do have some research to do in here, so we'll start getting these upgrades as well. Shatter, improving damage for our golems. Iron Fist, improving the combat rating. And this interesting upgrade, which will allow our bronze golems, our generals, to convert faster. Alright.
Strip the land.
So I'm gonna also build one fire bat, just because I wanna remember. Oh yeah, and I guess because they're Dark Dwarves, they also have some undead units, although I don't really see that much value in that. Now let's take a look at one stat for the fire bat. Yeah, he's trying to take our mines. They've already gotten that again. By that I mean the Celestial Temple. It's okay, because pretty soon
research complete.
We're gonna be getting some Hellboars.
Your buildings are under attack.
And we put some smiths into one of these things too. Yeah, the gold mine, and they're all gonna go. Yep, it went from 8 to 0 because that guy stole our resources. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. But if he's gonna be there, well, if he's just stolen it, then it'll be a while before he gets back there. So we'll actually send our hero back there to steal those things back. And we do need the level 4 furnace. And we've got plenty of crystal. I'll get this upgrade as well. And I'm tempted to start trading resources because we're low on metal, but high, well, not that high. I guess we could trade some crystal for metal, but let's not do anything. All right, here come the first attacks. Oh, he killed one of our smiths. That's pretty rude, dude. It's pretty rude, dude. I guess it was nice that our ballista leveled up. He was on the verge of leveling up, so that's cool. I hope there's going to be a place for them to move, because now I'm gonna build one flame cannon just to show them, but the main unit that this build relies on is the Hellbore. Very, very cool unit, a deadly unit. Dangerous if you're up against them for sure, especially on Iron Man. Now, I want to be careful not to kill their hero because he's a low-level enemy. Sometimes they will resign even when they could still continue just because their hero got killed. So I want to move my hero back to my base, just to make sure he doesn't accidentally get into combat with those guys. And sure, we'll get more armor for all units, that's really good. And Mithril, solid upgrade. We'll get Mithril and then we'll upgrade the keep to level 5. But really, similar to the Minotaurs and the Minotaur Shaman strategy, with these guys, level 4 is the most important upgrade. Right, I said I would build one flame cannon, just to show these guys off, show off their stats. Range isn't as high as these guys, but they make up for the range penalty with just crazy damage. And just to show you what their range is like the range is still pretty good after the range upgrade. They can do some pretty serious damage, but it's fire damage, so make note of that. Meaning they will have the same issues when running up against enemies that have an easy way to get fire immunity, which is a problem that we faced quite often during the campaign. Now our first Hellbore is about to roll off the assembly line, and here we go. These units are my favorite. They start off with a higher speed. They have the same excuse me, did you move? The same range as the Hellbores, sorry, as the flame cannons, but they have a longer view range. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, like this is exposed map, no fog of war, so I can't show you the view range, but they are able to see further if they're not accompanied by anyone else. I'll give you a sense of what their range is like. I'll move it further back, and now I'll ask it to attack my keep. So this is its range. And let me also build a tower here.
To the mine.
The reason I'm building a tower is because I need to show you what the range is for a normal tower, and because this is the weak AI that we're up against, they're not going to build towers. The reason it's important to compare the range of these guys to the range of a tower is because if you're using something to attack bases, that is the most important thing. So any second now our tower is going to be built. Let's get some a very expensive upgrade as well. We had a lot of crystal, now suddenly we don't have that much crystal anymore. It looks like our enemy hero might be glitched out. And this Archon, again, also seems to be pretty confused. Yeah, he's just standing there. His AI has broken. He's just summoning treants over and over again. So, that's fine. And I think we've done our range demonstration, so you can stop attacking. Yeah, let's mass these guys over here next to this tower. Now, towers have a range of only 12. That range can be boosted by garrisoning ranged units inside the tower, but generally, after you've gotten the range upgrade from the guild, this one, Siegecraft, you should be able to attack bases without taking basically any direct damage from the towers using Hellbores. They also, the other good thing about them is that their attack type is essentially instantaneous compared to this type of an attack, which is like, look at how much time it takes after it fires to when the shot hits the target compared to like this basically instant beam going straight to the target. And for that reason, these guys are very good at fighting moving targets as well. So even though the flame cannons have high damage, like, they're not as good as the Hellbores when it comes to fighting enemy units, just because like the way shooting at a moving target works in this game is pretty it can get pretty funky. Like, the game does, it does try to account for the unit moving, but you can very easily defeat that by waiting for the thing to fire its shot and then changing your direction. Whereas you couldn't really do that with these guys because of how instantaneous their shot is. So that's what makes them my favorite unit from this faction. And we are now assembling a pretty large group of them.
Research complete.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Oh, one other important thing is that, so I'm gonna garrison these. You can garrison firebombs inside towers. Our opponents occasionally did that inside in the campaign, and first of all, it'll change the damage type of the tower to fire, so keep that in mind. But the other thing is, I guess we're gonna need a second siege workshop, aren't we? I guess we'll just build a second siege workshop. What I was gonna say was, it's such a nasty surprise when you destroy a tower that was filled with firebombs, because I think units take damage when towers are destroyed. So I'm gonna our guys are having a hard time moving through this very tight base structure. Oh, and I guess this guy's gonna go all the way around. Nope, he's gonna... I don't even know what he's thinking. I guess he's coming all the way down here. Let him slowly amble his way here, and now we're gonna destroy this tower with our own unit. Might seem wasteful, and it is, but I want to demonstrate one thing. So, see, when you destroy a tower, it also destroys the unit inside of it, and I think the reason we didn't take damage from that firebomb is because it's a friendly unit. But if we had destroyed a hostile tower that was full of firebombs, we would have taken all of that damage. Like, all of them would have been destroyed in one go. We would have taken that damage. Would have been very painful indeed. But yes, I'll build that tower back up. Sure, let's get these useless upgrades as well. Now let's go to our Hall of Golems. We'll get this upgrade for the Bronze General, and then we'll start building the Titan, which is going to take a long time. I don't know if we'll...
Your base is under siege.
Excuse me? Who's attacking my base? Oh, these guys. From a very awkward angle, too. Oh. Oh, they're gonna... They're actually gonna destroy my base. They are actually gonna... Where's my hero? He is not close enough. But maybe we can encourage them to attack us by hitting them with this flame boar. Yes, alright. We distracted them successfully. Just want to make sure that they're not sending their hero at me. No, their hero is still up there. Okay. Now we have our Hellboars covering up this hole in our defense. Now let's talk a little bit more about the Hellboars. Right now they have the speed bonus from our hero's command skill, which is why they were moving really quickly. And even without that, like, they still have a bit of a speed bonus from our morale skill. But by themselves, they're not that fast. You will definitely need this upgrade, Forge, which improves speed for all siege weapons. The other thing to keep in mind is, while it's true they have a higher view range than the you know what? Yeah, let's rally them out here. While it's true they have a higher view range than the flame cannons,
Research complete.
note one important thing: their view range is smaller than their attack range. Which means that if they can't see an enemy due to fog of war, they won't be able to attack it. If they could see it, they would be able to attack it, but if they don't have vision on that target, they won't be able to hit it, even though it's within range. That's why I built this single fire bat. Like, we can build a bunch of them, it's easy. We'll even upgrade the Eyrie. So, like, this is what I like to do, is I try whenever I can to accompany my groups of Hellboars with at least one Firebat who has the higher view range.
Under attack.
Excuse me? And now they're going that way. Okay, you know what? These guys are this is just rude. Guys, I'm trying to explain how this faction works. I'm genuinely surprised that battering ram survived.
Your hero is under attack.
And our hero actually took a fair amount of damage as well. Alright. Our Titan is under construction. I think what we'll do is I'll wait for my Titan to get built, but I won't use my Titan against the enemy. What I'll do is I'll just use the Hellboars, because this is the Hellboar strat that I'm showing off here. I mean, like, you don't have to use Hellboars, you can use some, like, weird alternate strategy. Like, you can try the flame cannons if you're that confident in your ability to micro their attacks against enemy units. You can go in with golems, although I wouldn't recommend it. And that's really all you have. I guess you could try like the undead, the ancestral hall. I mean, they got some nice bonuses, like speed and combat, but I don't think they are strong enough to carry you the way these units can carry you. Alright, is there anything that we haven't researched? Well, I think we might actually be finished with all our research. I've fully maxed out. Oh wait, no, there's something to research inside the Eyrie, which is a bit unusual. Most, or at least the factions that I play with, tend not to have any extra research in the Eyries. Alright. Now I think we can start moving towards the enemy. What I want to do is I want to attack the enemy base, and
You have too many men.
usually I get annoyed at the enemy for building too many towers, but in this case I almost wish they had built towers, just so I could have shown off how to use these guys, and, you know, a demonstration of their high attack range. Here you can see they're fairly slow, even with all the speed bonuses we've given them. Let's move them here, and then they'll be in position roughly. I could just resign this map, because really all I wanted to do was show you the units and talk you through the strategy, and I think you would have been good to go from there. But you know what, just for fun, because it is nice to get a win, even if it's a cheap win against the easiest AI. Like, you know, a win's a win. They all count in your in the record books. So we're gonna take down this guy. With our one thing to keep in mind is when you have flying units accompanying ground units and you send them to an area and one of them has a path, like a short path that goes over water or over mountains, and the other ones, like, they have to take a different path, like they need to go over the bridge, your units will start going different paths, which can get you into trouble if one of the alternate paths, like, takes them over, like, hostile ground or, like, a bunch of enemy towers. So that is something to keep in mind. So even though we didn't really need this bat, I brought him along anyway. And now you see how these guys do against buildings. Not as quick as the Minotaur Shamans, because the Minotaur Shamans fire really fast, and they do a lot of damage, but the long range more than makes up for it. And could have easily brought more of these guys. I guess the other thing that makes this strategy a bit unwieldy is the fact that when we try to build these, each of them counts as 4 units, so it'll take up 4 units of population capacity to produce 1 Hellbore. So you can't spam them the way I was spamming Minotaur Shamans. So in that sense, this strategy maybe doesn't match up with the Minotaur Shaman strategy in terms of your DPS output, but where it does do better than the Minotaur Shaman strategy is that you can do a lot of safe damage from away from enemy towers, whereas Minotaur Shamans by default have a range of 8. The campaign will allow you to get a few range bonuses that are only good for the campaign. So, and this only works in the campaign. It doesn't work in skirmishes. So you can get your range up to 8, but even a range of 8 is still less than the range of a tower. So Minotaur Shamans, yes, they can do damage very quickly, but you will have to have more of them to start off, because you'll need to hit that critical mass so that they're not immediately getting killed, but they're doing enough damage to kill the things that are doing damage to them. Whereas with these guys, you can be, if you know what you're doing, you can be a bit more aggressive with them because you can do safe damage against enemies. So if you know that your enemy base doesn't have a lot of units in it, you know, because they recently sent a big attack and, you know, they wouldn't have had time to replenish, you can send a few Hellbores their way, do
Your
some
troops are under attack.
major damage. One pretty strong counter to Hellbores is Archons. They're just really, really fast. Really fast, but... Oh, and the other thing about flame cannons is... I'd forgotten this, but they can only target ground units. Oh, that Hellbore put up a brave fight, but ultimately the Archon was what are these guys doing? The Archon was too much for him. Yeah, see, Minotaur Shamans would have been a lot more capable at fighting the Archons just because they're faster and they also have, you know, like the Pillar of Fire. They have that extra ability helping them out. See, I think we're good to go. Where is the enemy hero? I wanna take him out. Oh, this might be him. This might be him. Oh, it is him. It is him. Ooh, and he got done building that pretty quickly. Alright, let's target him.
An enemy hero has been
You can see the long range is also good for taking down fleeing heroes. The long range and the pinpoint, like instant attack. The Minotaur Shamans were, like, occasionally they would let low health fleeing heroes run away because, you know, they couldn't aim their shots properly. But these guys were able to just laser focus that guy down. Looks like this time this AI is not resigning, so we'll probably have to take down this Celestial Temple. I mean, these Treants, I guess? Oh, and we're about to build the Titan.
Strip the land.
Can we build the Titan before this match ends?
troops are under attack.
No, we can't, because our population capacity is too low. Quick! Oh no, I'm trying to kill my own unit. Oh no. I wasn't quick enough to bring Grand onto the battlefield. That's okay. Like, we saw him in the campaign on the enemy side, so I don't feel too bad that we didn't get to show him off here. Okay, so yeah, let's go out of the screen. Yeah, so that is gonna be all for this video, just showing off what could have been an alternate strategy for the campaign. I actually think that this works better when you're fighting against high-level AIs in skirmishes, because if you're fighting in the campaign, you do get some range bonuses and some other bonuses for your units, like HP bonuses, that can make otherwise non-viable units viable. But if you're fighting high-level AIs in the skirmish map without your campaign bonuses, you need something that's able to deal with the kind of nonsense that the enemy pulls. And as we've seen, one thing the enemy loves to do, and they do it more and more the higher the difficulty gets, is spamming towers. And if you have a unit that's able to deal with towers easily, then you'll be in for a pretty good time. And as we've seen, the Hellboars, they're pretty good. Like, we didn't unfortunately get to see them against towers, but like we saw that they can outrange the towers by a small amount, but all you need to do is outrange the unit by 1. That's all it takes for you to be able to hit them and them to not be able to hit you. So for this reason, even a small amount of Hellboars can, in theory, take out an entire base if it has only towers defending it. Whereas Minotaur Shamans, you would need to have quite a few of them if they're taking damage from towers while they're clearing a base. So, you know, pros and cons. Of course, the downside is that, you know, it costs. They take up 4 times as much population capacity as the Minotaur Shamans do. One advantage they have is that their attacks are more accurate. It's an instant attack. It's not, you know, a slow-moving projectile. But then another disadvantage is that they they don't have any extra abilities helping them. Like, they don't have something like the Pillar of Fire or the Ring of Fire that the Minotaur Shamans have. So again, it's about looking at your situation and seeing what would help you the most. For me, I made the Minotaur Shamans work in my campaign, but there are instances, there would have been a couple instances in the campaign where the Hellboars would have helped us out a lot, and I'm thinking especially of the parts where we were fighting the fire immune enemies, because it was a real pain coming up with other ways to damage them. The Hellboars would have really made short work of them. And of course, there were a few cases where the enemy spammed a few towers too many for my liking. And, you know, they were chipping away at our Minotaur Shamans as we were demolishing their base. The Hellboars would have been able to take them down much more safely. So yeah, it's all about picking the strategy that is appropriate for the situation. But yes, anyway, that is going to be all for this bonus video. Thank you so much for watching, and I think that's going to be it for this series for the foreseeable future. I was thinking about making one more video about that hilarious glitch that we encountered in the first bonus video, but unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I wasn't able to replicate that bug. I tried. Maybe it's something that only happens in Iron Man heroes, because I made like some test heroes, and I would try doing some skirmishes to see if I could get the hero to glitch out again. The reason I wasn't trying to get the bug again with my Iron Man hero is because it is dangerous, right? Because if that hero gets close to my hero, they could, and they're bugged to do 800 damage in one hit and have like 60 speed, they could easily kill my hero before I can even react. So I don't know, maybe it's maybe it's a bug that only happens in Iron Man. If that's the case, I'm happy to just never see it ever again. But yes, because I couldn't replicate it, I don't think that video is gonna happen. So yes, that is gonna be all for the series for now. I think it is time for me to, well, I was gonna say go on a break, but that's not really true, because I've gotta go back to work in a couple days. I've had a bit of time off. It's been relaxing, but yes, work's gonna start up again, so probably after I get used to the rhythm of work again and I figure out how much spare time I can manage, then I'll start thinking about what the schedule will be for when I can start working on the Warlords Battlecry 3 series. So yes, it's not gonna happen very soon, but I am gonna start planning it out pretty soon. So yes, that is something that you can look forward to in the future, is all I can say for now. But yes, once again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a good time. Hope to see you again when we do eventually start Battlecry 3, because that is going to be another fun series. Possibly even more fun than this one, even though I think this is a better game. Like, you can think one thing is better and a different thing is more fun. There's nothing contradictory about that. But yes, the gist of that is that potentially Warlords Battlecry 3 could be even more fun than the fun we've had here. And I really hope to see you when we get going on that one. So that is going to be all. Until then, take care.